Welcome back, guys, to another video for the channel. Today I'm actually going to be on Back for Blood and randomly playing as one of the cleaners as Holly here, but that doesn't really matter what it is or what character I'm playing. But anyways, I'm in the main lobby right now. This is kind of where you go around and buy new like cards and stuff for this card deck system that you guys have probably seen, or for the people that actually haven't played this game yet. You know, that's what they're going to be using for the most part for replayability in the game is the card deck system. So what that is really opening up decks, and it's a bunch of cards that's in the game that will give you a bunch of stats and like really cool abilities and stuff that make it to where your guy is overall just way better. Like the very first, or like the third one right here is plus 20% reload speed, so you reload your gun 20% faster. And together, you're able to actually make an entire deck of, I believe, like 30 cards worth. No, 15, I mean. Sorry, not 30. Well, you can have up more than 15 cards, but 15 for like the real special ones. But yeah, so I want to go ahead and jump into a build, and this is the one that I have kind of showcased a little bit on a video. It was only a couple seconds long, but that was the 500% stamina build where I have 500%. Actually, it's 575 is what exactly how much I had there. But this is more or less the build I was running at the time. Uh, all that percentages, the stamina were a bunch of other cards that just overall just increases stamina by 10%. And I'll go over that in just a second. So this is my ultimate melee build, and it consists of a ton of different things. So right off the bat, what I want to be mostly focusing on is making it to where I'm insanely broken when it comes to a melee weapon, or insanely overpowered. So that means every time I'm going to be hitting a zombie, or any kind of special zombie, or swinging my melee weapon in general, it will take a little bit of my stamina away. So that's why I wanted my bar as massive as it could possibly get. So that's when I turned it to 575%. I can get in at least like 50 something swings normally without needing to regenerate stamina, so it's actually really dang solid. Now, you can still swing when your stamina is depleted, but it won't actually kill zombies in one hit. You'll have to do at least two of them in order to hurt them, and your swing speed is drastically reduced, so it pretty much makes it to where it's useless. But through this build, you're not going to be worrying about that too much. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first perk is really just all about going to be increasing your stamina. So it gives you plus 20% stamina, pretty simple, and plus 20% stamina regen. So your stamina regenerates 20% faster. That's actually going to be really important. And plus 3 move speed, you don't need to worry about that too much. And then plus 5 health, which is good, two things there. You don't need to worry about that. That's not really, I mean, it is awesome to have for the build, but that's not really what I'm going to be using specifically, or why I'm using this certain card. After that, this one is actually really good. This is real important. Is the Adrenaline Fueled, and this one is a really high tier card that I got, or at least it took me forever to actually get it. But what it is, it gives me plus 100% stamina right off the bat. So now I have 200% stamina plus the 20 of the other card. It gives me 120. And it makes it to where that every time I get a kill with a melee weapon, it will give me plus 10 stamina back instantly and plus 10 stamina over 5 seconds. So over time, it will regenerate another 10 stamina, which is actually really, really cool. So it makes it to where you have a ton of stamina. You get a bunch more back every time you kill an enemy. However, your regeneration speed to your stamina is reduced by 75%. This is pretty bad. It really does take an eternity for it to actually refill. Like the 575% bar that I had, it literally took about 2 to 3 minutes for it to actually fully fill back up without hitting zombies or having any other way of regenerating it. So it does make it to where it's way slower. So this is really going to be fueled off of hordes of zombies. More zombies, the more powerful you become. You are literally going to be broken. After that, we're going to go to the energy bar. It gives us plus 20% stamina regeneration. The cross training and energy bar together that bumps up your regeneration speed by 40%, so it kind of throws off the 75% of loss to regeneration, but not near as much. So it does make it to where it's a little bit more tolerable. It's still insanely slow. Again, the build I was running for the actual super bar of stamina, this is with all these cards put together, and it was still 3 minutes to actually fully charge or fully fill back up. So this one, or this card right here, Berserker, this one is where your build actually starts to really come into play. So obviously you're going to be getting 10 stamina every time you kill a zombie. This one makes it to where that you get 10 melee damage, 10 melee speed, and 5% move speed for each melee kill in the last 4 seconds. So this means that, let's say a huge horde of zombies come in, or ridden, I guess is what they call it in here. I want to call them zombies because they are. But they're all grouped around you. If you uh, I guess like the actual like percentages here, like 10%, or I don't guess, like it's actually a thing here, but every time you kill a zombie within a period of 4 seconds, you'll be able to get 10% melee speed, 10% melee damage, 5% move speed, all that kind of stuff it lists there. So that means that you can be able to kill to 8 to 10 zombies within the period of 4 seconds. That's 100% melee damage, 100% movement speed, and 100, or not 100% movement speed, 100% melee speed. So your guy swings like a freaking maniac, and the animation to your actual machete is just blasting through the screen like you are cutting them down. So uh, it makes it to where that you're insanely broken. I love this perk, and it is an absolute must if you want to run an actual like good melee build. You don't need the adrenaline fueled. I just use that because I can keep gaining stamina back, and just makes it to where I just keep going on forever and forever. But you don't necessarily need to run it. You can just go with this berserker. Vitamins, this gives you plus 15 health. It's a filler, so don't worry about that. Battle Lust, this one's also really good. I think this is actually one of the starter cards that you get, so you don't need to worry about unlocking this later down the line. Melee kills give you 2 health. Pretty straightforward. When you're swinging like a freaking madman going above 100% melee speed, you'll be able to get 2 health very, very frequently inside a horde. So you can really take on 30 zombies at once, and you can have your health fully regenerated. Like, I'm not kidding you. You are a one-man army with a melee weapon. I even got an emblem for killing so many zombies at once for this. So that's a really good one. I really recommend it to make it to where you're practically immortal when you're taking on an entire horde. So it's really good. This one is, again, just kind of bump it up the stamina a little bit more. It gives you 20% more stamina, 20% more sprint efficiency. So when you're sprinting, it takes 20% less stamina away, or drains 20% less stamina when you're actually sprinting. So that's a good little plus. It doesn't really do anything for me there. It just makes it to where you can run a longer time. And it gives me plus 5 health. So I'm really just wanting it for the stamina there because, I want to make it as big as possible. This one just makes it to where I can move 10% faster for move speed for 5 seconds when I get precision kills. Precision kills are headshots for normal ridden, and the weak point damages for the special ridden. So anytime you get a precision or like critical kind of hit on a zombie, you will, or get a kill off of that certain like weak point or a headshot, then you'll get your 10% movement speed. It doesn't stack. It only gives you that one 10% move speed, I believe. Yeah, so it doesn't even say it stacks. Or at least I don't think so. I never actually seen me like move any faster, so I don't think it actually stacks. Yes, it even says right here, percentage kills triggered by getting a killing blow to a weak spot. So zombie headshots will actually count as a weak spot. And down here, Sluggers. So this one is where it starts getting really good. So these are a little bit high tier cards. That's why I have them more towards the bottom, because I put them in the card deck a little bit later. But Sluggers. So this one's really good. It gives me 10% melee stamina efficiency. So it takes 10% less stamina for every swing, or every like 10% less stamina that's required for a swing. Just a little bit of a help there. You don't need to worry about that, because if you have adrenaline fuel, you have 10% stamina going back in for every swing. So that's kind of worthless, really. But you do get 20% melee attack speed, which is that's actually what I want to be going with here. So, like I said, you swing like a madman with a berserker. You can go even faster with the slugger by default. You don't need to actually have kills in order to do this. This just comes by the base like percentage is upped. You don't need to actually kill anything in order to get that effect. So it's actually really good. There's no downsides to it, and it's really solid. And this one, Methhead. Funny name for a card, but it's actually insanely broken. Gives you plus 40% melee attack speed. That's what I'm really wanting here. And plus 40% melee stamina efficiency. So that gives you 50% stamina efficiency. So your swings practically take no stamina at all. Plus you keep getting it back. So stamina is not really an issue anytime that you swing your machete or bat or axe or fire axe, whatever it is. So really, really solid, but it does get rid of the ability to aim down sights. So I do recommend like any kind of build that you're running. It doesn't even need to actually have this kind of card to it, but any kind of like close melee build, always stack it with either an SMG or a shotgun because they have really high hip fire accuracy stats to them, and they're really powerful for close range, and you should be just fine. So I just run a shotgun, so Methhead, it works just fine. It's literally built for melee build, so that's why it disables aim down sight speed, because obviously you won't be aiming with a melee weapon. So after this makes it to where you're getting even faster. This increases your melee stamina efficiency by 30% and plus 30% melee attack speed. So now the Berserker plus Slugger plus Brazen right here, your guy literally goes at Mach 5 speed swinging his arm. Like the animation is almost broken at this point. Plus you can kill like 20 plus zombies like I'm talking about, like for those 4 seconds. Like it's broken. You can make this thing to where it cuts down anything. Like the actual like super ridden or the specials won't stand a chance. Like they will be cut down within a second or two. Like you are a force to be reckoned with. This is topping off the entire deal to make it to where it's broken as can be. There is one downside though. You do take 5% more damage or 5% less damage resistance. You don't need to worry about that, since every time you kill like 30 or so zombies in a horde, you get 2 health back. That's practically um, avoided by all the other perks, or the actual perks here, like the battle lust one. So after that, energy drink. This gives you 40% more stamina, 5% more or less damage resistance. Again, when you're killing a bunch of them, it does not matter what damage you're taking. It will not do enough to actually do any kind of a real effect on you. Dash, this is kind of just fillers at this point though. So dash just gives you 5% move speed, pretty straightforward. Evasive action, every time you take 10 or more damage, you gain 20% movement speed for 3 seconds, pretty straightforward. And then screwdriver, you can use 50%, or you can use your items like med kits, bandages, any kind of like item 50% faster. And I just get 10% stamina. I'm really just using that for the 10% stamina there. But yeah, so all together, you have yourself a massive stamina bar by the end of the actual deck. And you will have a freaking broken melee build that you're able to take down literally anything. Like the only real weakness to this entire build that you're going to have a little bit trouble on is like the class of zombies, like the Stinger or the Hawker or whatever those things are, the 4 armed zombies, because they like to jump up onto walls and stuff. So it makes it to where it's a lot harder for you to actually hit them with a melee weapon. So that's why I recommend running a shotgun or SMG or something, especially when you have Methhead here. But yeah, so that's pretty much my entire build that I've been using. It's insanely fun just going in with literally just a melee weapon and be more effective than your actual teammates with ranged weapons or any kind of guns. It's broken as can be, and it is fun. And by the end of the game, like when you kill enough zombies around you, your guy gets like blood all over his model and the gun and stuff, so you'll be covered in head to toe in blood. You feel like you just went through the freaking ringer and just like chopping these suckers up, and it is an absolute like awesome freaking build, and I recommend trying it out. It's real freaking fun. Uh, One thing I forgot to actually mention, like every time that you go through an act, I'll show this actually. Uh, let's see the campaign here. So you would have certain acts. Let's crate run. So you have Act 1, 2, and 3. Each act has, they're like chapters. So each one of them has like at least 5, 6, maybe 7, I think. 8 to 9. I think 9 is about the limit, is how far they'll go. But all of them have like different numbers of uh, missions. So like Act 1, I think is the longest one. So I go to crate run, and I'll go to Act 1 here and crate run here. Or actually, no. But yeah, it'll show you in the actual menu, and it'll make it to where like you'll see like a line of like the first one that you'll start out with, and it'll have like a little red dot, and it'll send you in. So every single mission that you complete, you'll get another card in your deck. So you don't get all those cards right off the bat. You'll actually have to slowly make your way through the campaign or act, and then you'll be able to get your entire card deck near the end of the actual act there. So I think by default, when you jump into the game, it'll give you 2 of your cards. One of them will be randomly selected for you, and then you'll be able to pick one out yourself, and then it'll go on from there. And there is other cards. I'm not able to select them because they're found throughout the mission, or when you actually run out of special cards to use. Yeah, so they're not here for some reason. But they're like real basic cards. Like one of them is, they're really just called basic cards. They're the ones that don't give you like real big benefits like that. So one of them that I use a ton, that I was able to get up to 16, I think, 16 of these cards in order to get the 575% stamina. It is just cards that give you 10% stamina. That's all it does, is the basic cards, it just gives you stamina. And it's actually really solid when you can stack 16 of those all together, which is really cool, plus a bunch of other stuff. And there's that one, and there's 10% extra ammo, and then another one is called Fortune, where you're able to get the currency in the game, which is copper. You can kind of see like above my health bar on the bottom left, that little yellow icon. There's like the currency in the game that you get the find. So there's like coins and stuff all throughout the match. Pick them up, you use them to get upgrades for your weapons, like attachments and stuff, and med kits and all that kind of things. But yeah, so that makes it to where that every time you start another round or another act mission, or a mission in another act there, you'll be able to get up to 25 to 50 copper in each one. So you can stack that, you'll be insanely rich by the end of the game. But yeah, so they do like real basic stuff, hence the basic card deal. But aside from that, yeah, that's pretty much everything I think there is to cover for the actual like card deck system. It's real freaking fun. I got one going on right now when I have to go up a little bit more and like selecting cards, because there is a supply alliance. This is kind of like in the menu, you go through them, and then this is how you go about unlocking cards. Every time that you play through an act, you'll be able to get points. You can see it on the top right. There's like little 3 squares or cubes. It says 66. Those are supply points. You get up to about 20, 30, 40 or so when you're doing like the easiest mode. Or you get up to like 40 at most per level. And that is by doing like a bunch of challenges, like keeping every survivor alive. And it's like really easy. Harder difficulties like Veteran and I think Nightmare is what they call it. Yeah, Nightmare. So any of these, like you can actually see here, like Recruit, it says minus 50% supply points earned, so you get like less of what you normally get. Veteran, it gives you the base supply points earned, so it gives you about like, I guess 75 or up. I haven't really played on Veteran a whole lot, but I am getting there now. And then Nightmare gives you plus 50% extra points earned. So that's pretty much the currency you would use to get the supply points there and get all the cards. You'll slowly make your way through them. When you complete a set, it will tell you you completed it, and it'll switch to a different set, and you have a bunch of other cards to select from. So yeah, so that's pretty much the entire card deck. Like I said, I'm going to be making one right now. I become more or less like a juggernaut. My guy will make it to where that he has like well over 200 to 300 health, which is broken as can be. But yeah, aside from that, guys, I think I'm going to end it here. It's already going on long enough. If you guys want to see card deck builds and any kind of gameplay with them, let me know. I think it would be a really cool idea, because, you know, in Modern Warfare, I kind of ran out of gun builds to actually do, or any kind of gun build that's actually interesting. So I'm trying to see what you guys would want to would be interested in. If you have any other games like you'd want to see or any kind of gameplay, let me know down in the comments. You know, I'm really just playing anything that you guys like. So besides that, guys, I got really nothing else to say, and I'll see you guys in the next one.